know the most about the young peak. That is also an issue as well, I believe. For, well, I certainly believe your words. I do not know how the others will feel.
They will learn in time.
Equally so, I fear that if you're deceived, we all make mistakes at times.
I am not deceived, brother. I understand that you have been under the influence of someone who has spoken many words to your mind. Perhaps you should consider that you have, I believe, never met my compatriot. Perhaps such a meeting could reassure you that this is the right direction for our house. I do intend for you to meet him, for you to speak. It will be soon enough when he will get here. They are not as far away as I thought they would be,
How far?
said Francis. I'm not entirely sure, but we can expect them, he says, soon enough. I will make sure to ask the lady to not let you be bored for the while.
Looks at him with a soft frown. As said, yes, I have not met him. I only know the reputation the house has had, and most certainly that of its ruler.
You said it yourself. We shall not let the past dictate the future.
I hope they would not. Says the house, if conflict was to truly end, which I hope it could, be
It
finally a
has to
time.
begin somewhere.
Our houses have had so long of conflict. Runs back deep.
He nods. Just as does that of the martial lords and Dawn. And yet I hear that you have found a way to mend it, even in the face of the past.
Vanis nods. That I suppose I
Many
have.
disagree with such a decision. And yet you did it anyway. You endangered yourself and them to do this. Yet you did it anyway. Should I not follow your example in this time then? Even if there are those who may be afraid of what my peace brings.
I cannot say for sure. But also there is one more thing I must say to you. I must bring up before we continue this further. For before you asked if I had considered if I would want, if I'd ever considered to just take your position.
Nods.
And before I squirmed and try not to answer it too much.
Nods.
In honesty, I suppose in a way I have, after all my time, after all the time I have spent, well, stewarding at the house and trying to keep everything in order. The reason for the marriage as well.
He nods, moving his hand and placing it on Lennis's shoulder, sort of bowing down a little bit, him being slightly taller than you, to look into your eyes. He says, our eyes are much the same, brother. And I do wish, as I said, that you would continue by my side. The work of the house is some that are best done by many, and I intend to have a council work through our important decisions in the future. I would not ask you this if I thought you would agree with my every decision, for such an adviser, such an aid would not be good or useful. I just hope that when the time comes, you will do your duty, as I will. He looks to the symbol of the father upon the shrine.
Kind of looks over. Duty is what binds us. That's certainly true.
As the light shines down upon the little figurine and sort of glitters and shines it up. Halo almost around its head. So, brother, I ask you again, will you not give me your word that I can trust you in all that the world will bring against us before the eyes of the gods? Will you refuse me that? Here and now? For I will give my word to you then, and I will do all I can to ensure that our house is strong and survives the coming conflict, that we will be true to the gods and to our vows. He sort of looks into your eyes.
Annis looks back contemplatively, considering. Looking over to the altar where the figurines are. Looking to him. Sighing slightly. It's not a disapproving look, just a trying to get off his shoulders everything. It's been so long since I've been in a true chapel like this.
He frowns. Does Respite not have one?
We are soon to invest in one again, to fix what is broken.
He nods. That would be good, I believe. Perhaps that will explain some of our house's undoing. The lack of the attention of the gods can bring both disfavor and it can corrupt the hearts of men who may think themselves beyond the judgment of the seven.
Kind of looks towards his brother, trying to, kind of reaching, almost putting his hand on his hand that he put on the shoulder.
Sure.
Not removing his hand away, just kind of putting it there.
Stand there, the sunlight glittering in through the window, illuminating the two of you.
Dear brother.
He looks at you expectantly.
In your duties travelling, you've certainly fought, and you've certainly taken your vows, and you've certainly served them. That I can believe all and all. For you to be by my side, or the same the other way round. It'd be something I certainly like the sound of. 'Tis just as I said, I fear others will not agree.
And yet it is not their word that I ask for.
No, it's not.
Do not fear, brother.
I do not fear for myself.
He nods. The seven watches over us. Now and ever.
And while I must honestly say, part of me would have hoped that you would have just chosen to stay from all who would want to go after you. Bear the title onto me. That would be your choice.
We must all do our duty.
You have been doing your duty quite clearly.
He nods. Yes. But duty doesn't stop because it would be convenient or safe.
Though there is always more to be done. Conflict is coming.
He nods. And we must be ready.
I simply fear that if something was to happen to you, where would this duty befall? Where would it continue?
Nothing shall happen to me.
Accidents befall all, even the most pious, even the wisest, even the strongest.
No,
I do not
that
want
is
that.
true.
I do not want the chance of more occurring.
The statue of the stranger says, the strangest things do happen. The gods at times seem unpredictable or cruel. But we must not lose our faith. It is all planned to go as it does, and there is a point to all of it. We must simply ask for the strength we need to survive it, for the courage to do what is right, for the skill to do what is right, for the strength of heart to show mercy to our enemies.
He looks over to the shrine, looks back. If the time was to come and I was to stand by your side, I know one that many of the others was feared from you. One of the reasons they would oppose your return.
Yes.
For they fear that our ability to make our decisions and do what is right would be clamped down upon.
You do not trust my word.
Your word I can accept. However, just consider this for a moment. The young Peak has said, I do not know his. I do not know where he stands and what is to come. You
will
have.
meet him and speak to him soon enough, as soon as he can come here with the contingent. There will be some days traveling.
How well do you know him, truly?
I grew up with him. I would say that he is as family to me.
Then perhaps you can rest my worry. I assume you have been able to hear of well, the conflicts that are soon to come.
He nods.
Many there are.
Some, however, I have not been in a position to have independent information brought to me freely. I shall look upon this more closely once I take my seat.
Do you know where the young Peak stands upon all of this?
He says, he stands with me. Is this what troubles your mind?
In one way, yes. For he stands with you. Then where would you stand in the war that will inevitably come? The conflict that will tear everything apart?
I do not know. I have not seen the whole picture yet. We have many loyalties to our leashes. Such bonds are wholly held by whoever rules the house. We must fulfill such requirements. But whether the liege lord or the king is the greater one, I cannot say yet. I should need to pray on the question and ask for wisdom. Should we be so lucky that there will be no conflict, then the question will be moot altogether.
It is not something we can simply ignore until it occurs, though. For waiting that long could endanger more.
Yes, I see your points, but it seems that you have already made them. I am aware of what is going on, and I do not intend to sit idly by. Neither does my friends. I would be very happy to be able to call you my ally, but it seems that you are reluctant to give me something as simple as a word that I can trust you.
Grips his hand slightly.
Such is a great disappointment. He looks to the altar. For then it must mean that I cannot.
Dear brother. If you were not...
You have nothing more to say?
I have one final thing. Then you will receive my answer.
Not.
For as it does worry my family, is all of that, including our name, which would occur if others were to see us below the House of Peak. And while you say they are allies, they would not want our name to be damaged as it was. The honor of those who came before us, they would worry would be broken.
Shakes his head. It would not. Just as our now alliance with the Dornish does not tarnish us even if some would say it will. Our alliance with the peaks will not tarnish us, even if some say it might.
For an alliance, I do not think so. Just our house should serve our liege lord, not one who was
He
last.
nods. It will.
And that,
If he looks
and
to
that,
you and
and that,
says, it
that.
decides to,
Hmm? What's that?
it will serve its liege lord. He looks to you. If it decides to.
Can I quickly do an empathy check to see how he feels about all of us, just in general, see what I can kind of pick
Sure.
up?
Do you have any particular thing you're interested in listening to his opinion about?
Well, his opinion on Lannis, I'm kind of already, that's I've got a decent idea of, but more how how exactly, for example, he felt about that. If it chooses to, is he implying?
He is probably implying that right now his house is not being very subordinate to him.
Mm,
As you have just said, the house should serve the liege lord, which would be him.
how does he feel about his serving of someone? It's kind of what I want to kind of pick up.
He seems to believe himself serving the Seven. His friendship, or that he has expressed with the young peak, seems to be in his eyes genuine.
And is everything he said so far about him being, the young peak being this, you
You
know,
are pretty sure at this point, especially with the light of the Seven shining upon you, that you would know if he had directly lied to you.
okay. So he does genuinely believe
It's
he
still a
is.
fact.
Yeah, he is good. He does not have ill will of us the same way.
Doesn't seem like he wants to harm you now, or his house.
Then, from all that has been said, all that is, if if you truly mean for us to have our houses bound in alliance, which I assume means then, and looks to him, you seek to marry.
He shakes his head. So looking slightly tougher, says, no. It will be
Surprised.
an alliance in friendship, not in blood. He looks to you and says, you shall be my heir,
Blinks.
even if it shall hopefully not be relevant for quite a few years.
Blinks in a little bit of surprise, actually, for that. An honor, certainly. And you do truly seek just an alliance between us, unlike what, of course, others may fear.
People fear almost everything. Those with black hearts see that in all others.
It certainly can be true. Though if this is the case, and truly, that if it's just to become peace between us, the conflict will end. And their worryings about our lordship changing, then, well, hold this for a moment. Looks over to the altar.
It's shining, the sun brightly lighting all the things.
Mm-hmm. Very bright day outside.
Well, not really, but it seems there's just a hole in the clouds, allowing a single ray of sunlight to to sort of light the altar and the two of you.
What the?
Sort of a holy feeling to it.
Mm-hmm.
Also slightly noticed that the red fiery heart has been turned around, perhaps by Halen when he entered.
Mm-hmm. That's a good sign. Then, my dear brother, I will simply finish now. Before the seven watch over us, looks over to the altar, looks up to the glass where the light shines through. I vow to try and aid in helping our house grow and standing, if that is your will, beside your side, in helping the house truly grow.
You will aid me as a brother, in good and bad. His eyes looking to you.
For as long as you uphold your duty of the house's honor, I do.
He nods. I will accept your vow and hold you to it.
Equally to yours, for the house is what matters once and all. Holds his hands tightly.
There will be trying times ahead. He looks to the altar. But it seems that we are not alone in them.
We have a fight ahead, into the long one.
Will you accompany me, perhaps to have some food?
Nods.
As I eat sparingly. The seven dislike excess.
It is not excess to keep yourself healthy.
He'll stand up and begin moving towards the... Well, what you will find out is sort of a kitchen-y area. As he seems to know the keep rather well.
Mm-hmm.
He will maybe ask to have some porridge rather than the seafood, and he'll have it and have it right on sort of a kitchen table with a stool. And, you can have some with him.
Yeah. I was actually kind of hungry.
Sure.
Didn't eat a whole lot yesterday.
Good. It's standard Westerosi peasant food. Nothing amazing, but it's not going to give you a bad stomach either. So about maybe this time, the others awaken in their room. You know, the sun is up far enough that a few rays of light will hit your eyes and.
Sword sits by well, now apparently in the arms of
Yeah. Yeah, well, Alaric will probably wake up.
Doesn't will slowly get up, grab his cane, and sort of sit, get dressed, look around for Lanus, frown, look at Kvalar, frowns back. I feel something terrible has happened.
Oh, come on.
Alaric will get up.
It's time to murder everyone.
Hears Decim say something has gone wrong. Instead of going to the chapel for a prayer, we'll just say a quick prayer and get his armor on.
Mm-hmm.
Requesting Decim to wait while Manfa
Help strap him in.
Help strap him in, yeah.
The usual stool to stand on so he can reach. Somewhat.
Oh, Manfer. So adorable.
Decim can help speed things along if he really wants. He's not
Takes
tall
like
enough to reach everything.
15, 20 minutes. Sure. Strap everything in and.
So, we have been thinking this is a question both for Alaric and by extension Malachi. We had been talking before, even before, like several weeks ago before the letter even arrived, I think at the end of the tournament, that we should spend some of our power to maybe expand our engineers, because that's what we were known for.
Yes.
Do we, to Decim and Alaric's mind, Malachi, do we have the know-how to actually do that in our current state?
You
if we
could
were to know
begin
the
training.
information.
I'd say, yeah.
Would we be able to field the units in time? though?
There are people who are like too old or veterans in the area that could help train them.
Because I was thinking this like alchemist dude, if we could like somehow incorporate him into, or some of his stuff into the engineers, that could have been kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool. We've got.
But that needs to then
Wealth?
because, but that, for that to happen, you know, we would need to actually have engineers for it to be viable. So that's sort of why.
We would also need to know that this is actually happening.
No, but this is something Decim would plausibly do at this point, because, you know, we have been actually talking about it. And if there is a famous alchemist here, if there can be some sort of collaboration going on, that might be a good investment.
Totally agree. Wildfire is scary dangerous.
Well, we don't need particularly wildfire, but we, I mean, if we can get that, that would be amazing. But you know, maybe he has some tricks.
Teach us gunpowder.
Yeah, and like he has grenades or something, you know, like black powder grenades, or maybe he knows a few tricks.
Maybe, yeah. Good
Good
idea.
When it comes to blowing up walls and other things, fortifications.
It's a good idea. I approve.
So that's what I was thinking.
But I think we'll need Lanus to translate, because I doubt he speaks common Westerosi.
Do we know if Sorajivas, the Silent, speaks the common tongue?
You haven't heard him do it?
Wait, he worked at the Alchemist Guild, so he might.
That's true, he might.
It's certainly true. He might. Worst case scenario, we just go and ask.
Sure. Decim will go and ask.
But Alaric will come with you.
Into the hall, basically where people are standing around and all they're shady looking or scholarly looking. It looks like it's mostly shady people scholars, shady scholars.
Shady scholars are the worst.
That sort of combination of people who are around, and quite a few are standing around. A particularly bald man with a sort of an imperious look as he explains to them in fluent Valerian something or other. You really have no idea.
That might be the smuggest portrait I've seen.
He seems to know that he's pretty damn good, and everyone else is taking notes as he talks and asking questions quietly as to not appear too stupid if they happen to ask for something dumb. Entertaining them.
Is there a servant that would?
There's like
would
one with a
speak?
tray with like shrimp and crabs and stuff.
Does somebody sort of wave him over and ask if the servant knows if Soragius the Silent speaks the common tongue?
The servant clearly does not speak the common tongue.
Fuck.
He just sort of stares blankly at you, like reaching out with the tray.
Yeah. Nah, doesn't wave him away. Doesn't want any shrimp. Absolutely don't want any shrimp. Well, you know what it is? I'll just disconnect, right? I'll just disconnect the call and go sit in a corner.
I'm joking. Yes,
I don't want shellfish. Well, sensible approach.
Sure. You can sort of move in. If you sort of look at Alaric and grumble something or other in some language or other, because Alaric takes a lot of space and shadows a lot.